Hello everyone at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you a reading today for July 13th, 2025. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody. So here today we have out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we have Two of Pentacles accompanied with the Star card. And so if you look at the Two of Pentacles, this person is definitely balancing the two coins and looks as though they have come into a place where they're going to have to make some sort of a decision, but definitely really feeling that the key word here for this reading today is balance. So with that Two of Pentacles, this could be somebody really having to make a decision and rely on their inner wisdom to guide to make this decision. And I really feel like this decision has something to do with one's life purpose. So with this balancing act, you can see in the background of the card there, the turbulent waters. And then there's the big ship, which is riding the bigger wave and offers a lot of stability, even if there's ups and downs in life, versus that little ship that's in the background on the smaller waves. So this turbulence is the ups and downs. Water typically represents a lot of emotion. You could have a lot of emotion when it comes to making this decision, whether this is anxiety, fear. It could be even something just happy, or like a lot of emotion in terms of making a change and being really happy about that as well, because with any change there is a bit of a grieving process that kind of accompanies that as you make that shift. So you yourself even could be creating waves based on your own emotion, right? With that fear and that anxiety, allowing that to lead the way can kind of cloud your judgment a little bit in terms of being open and connected to your intuition and following your inner wisdom that you have available to you. But either way, whether this is of your own doing, really feel as though this has the ability to kind of get away from you. In other words, getting too big, things getting out of hand. Or maybe you feel as though this is something that's out of hand right now and you really want to get control of that. But I do think that either way, slow and steady actions, being methodical about this can be, an easy way to kind of manage some of that. I do feel like maybe perhaps with that methodical energy kind of coming in, maybe that's something that you're doing in your job already, where you're feeling, or in your relationship even, where you're feeling, man, I'm going through the motions, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. It's kind of like maintaining, right, your procedures, doing things like well-established patterns and routines that have already been there, and it's not really stimulating for you anymore, right? You're ready to kind of break free from that pattern. And I really feel as though maybe the Two of Pentacles could be somebody balancing two different jobs, or balancing two different people trying to make a decision in a relationship, right? And I feel like this can be, depending on your personality, it can be really tiring, but it also can be very stimulating at the same time. But either way, we have to kind of look at this and understand that staying in that one place can lead us to a place where we are attempting to avoid change, right? I do feel a big shift coming in, and I feel like this is going to require you to think outside the box, do things a little bit unconventional, right? I think that perhaps you are hoping for less chaos on the other side of these ups and downs, this turbulent water. Perhaps you're plotting an escape plan, right? Which is you've got one foot in and one foot out of a situation, and you're ready to step out of that situation and ready to be done with some of the chaos, right? But understand that if you are steering this big ship, you could be in charge of many people, right? If you're steering that big ship, where if you're in that little ship over here, you could just be having to worry about yourself, and you're worried about your little boat. Now, either way, you are able to manage the waters, right? Like both of the ships are still afloat. And it's okay if you take a step back and want to just try to focus on yourself and, you know, your individual desires, and not be so worried about the big guy, I want to say, the big guy or government or this entity that you work for, or something like that, right? Like the bigger picture for you would be making sure that you are able to deal effectively throughout your day-to-day life, right? Keeping that balance and doing what's best for you, and taking care of your own emotions. So with the star card, which we have 7 stars around the main star, and that typically is representative of our chakras, right? So with this, there's a lot of healing energy, really feeling as though this is bringing in a lot of wisdom and guidance, and again, emphasizing that need for that balance. Now, I'm very drawn to, and I'll get to it in just a minute, the red bird up here in the tree, or it could be orange. But what I felt though was, and it may not be a dodo bird, but I was feeling a dodo bird, which they're extinct actually. So, but when we look at that bird, this could be very representative of our need to kind of overcome these obstacles, right? And, you know, overcoming the consequences of our past, even. That's really what the energy is. That's with that. I do feel like I'll get back to that in just a second, but I do feel like making this decision, you really could be healing something within yourself, right? Maybe if you are looking to make a career move, this could be something that you have that comes up as a result of unhealed childhood trauma, right? Perhaps there's a fear of failure surrounding that. Perhaps you are kind of frozen in that fear and unable to take that step forward because of that fear of failure. But, you know, I really feel like with this comes this renewed hope though, right? You could be feeling a little bit unworthy, having trouble feeling worthy of this new situation. And, you know, I really feel like there's a lot of difficulty surrounding that. The number 5 kind of comes in with that. But I feel as though this could be difficult concepts for you to grasp, the feeling of feeling worthy, of having known, you know, that you've taken the proper steps to get where you are today, and overcoming that feeling not worthy, right? And so perhaps reconnecting to, you could think about like what you wanted to do as a career when you were a child, and how does that resonate today in your life, or if you were to make this move, right? And so it's about reconnecting us to these old parts of ourself, and really rekindling that innocence and that joy, to really allow yourself to fully accept who you are, right? And so bringing in this renewed hope with the seven of the stars on the card here, really not specifically focusing on one area or another, but like looking at all facets of your wellness, right? Bringing things back into balance, whether that's work-life balance, feeling spiritually well, feeling financially well, feeling emotionally well, maybe even physically well, you know, really bringing that all together now. And so back to this bird, of course, here on the star card, I'm really feeling like this is overcoming the past, right? And so when I talk about things from the past kind of creeping up and affecting your decision today, we could be talking about defining your path going forward, because I do feel as though you can't operate on these outdated beliefs or systems anymore, right? What I mean by that is this is an end of a chapter for you. This is really about letting go of all of those things that you have, like these constraints that you've put on yourself, due to limiting type beliefs, but really thinking you can't do something, thinking you never would do something like that, because that's not who you are anymore. When we say that they're obsolete, outdated beliefs, it's because they are who you've grown into, the path that you've taken and grown, the person you've grown into. Those things from the past, these beliefs that you're holding onto, that resonates more with a version of who you used to be, not who you've grown to be. So it's very uncharacteristic of you, and I'm getting big chills with that, to hold on to those and allow it to keep you stuck even in this current space, in this time, right? Because you have grown, you've done too much work to get where you are. And I really feel like I'm being shown from Spirit, of course, in Spirit, this person in a jail cell, right? And so this could be indicating that you're trapped by those limiting beliefs, or that you're feeling stuck, or that you're locking yourself into a space and keeping yourself from reaching that full potential. But really with this, there's a lot of growth here for you, a lot of higher learning and moving forward, giving yourself grace, and having faith, of course, believing in yourself to get to where you want to be. And so what I feel with this is it's ultimately moving you with that star card of healing into a space where you feel back to yourself. You feel like you haven't felt in a long time. Maybe how you're thinking about the situation, maybe reconnecting with an energy of who you were as a child, right? Feeling healthy and vibrant, right? Full of life, full of these ideas, full of these things that you want to do and accomplish and see and be a part of, right? And really being innovative and bringing in a lot of new ideas to the workplace even. So in the past, you didn't really believe that. But now there's been this linking of this higher self and your current self, your physical form, right? What do I mean by that? Well, our higher self is our more compassionate, wiser, full of intuition, right? Where we know exactly what we're here for in terms of our life purpose, and we're going to go ahead and go after that, right? Bringing that into alignment and then with our current self, our physical self here in this reality. And a lot of things here in this plane tend to be ego driven, right? So we could work and operating on systems, that the updated ones of self-loathing or fear of judgment or wanting to achieve bigger and better, right? Because it's all this ego stuff. We get, influences from society, and really bringing this into alignment, you will ultimately be living in your true potential. It's living in your purpose, right? Where you're no longer swimming upstream, you're going with the flow. You're not going against the resistance anymore. You're letting go. You're in a raft on a river and you're floating with the current, right? That's alignment. It's a lot easier. Things will start to happen for you. You're going to leave behind all of these external pressures and limiting beliefs, and allow yourself to take divinely guided action where you're feeling called to do something or to go for something. And then when you do that, and you're doing that from a place of alignment and not from wanting this for other reasons, your higher self is taking over. And so this is a guiding wisdom that you have. And really, honestly, from that space, all of the pieces of the puzzle will start to come together, fall in place, and without a lot of effort on your part, which is an amazing place to be. So this is about you feeling empowered, embracing your power, taking control of the situation, perhaps even taking a leap of faith, not knowing exactly how it will turn out, but knowing that Spirit has your back no matter what. So this is a beautiful reading for you. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. And if this resonates, please claim this as your reading. And if you feel so inclined to share it with someone, then perhaps they could also benefit from hearing the message. And I hope you all have an amazing evening. Thank you. Take care.